Championship, Packers, 49ers, into the arms of Mostert. He's gone, touchdown, San Francisco. Mostert gets it, touchdown. And here he is again. Mostert, touchdown, his third. Mostert, left side, how about a touchdown? San Francisco going to the Super Bowl with a big win tonight over Green Bay.
The 49ers powered their way to the Super Bowl with a 37-20 victory that wasn't even that close. Jimmy Garoppolo only had to throw the ball 8 times as running back Raheem Mostert led San Francisco with 220 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. The Packers offense never really got into a rhythm as the Niners defense forced Aaron Rodgers into 1 lost fumble and 2 picks, including a late one to Richard Sherman that secured the trip to Miami. So, Shannon, I start with you. How impressive were the 49ers?
This was very impressive. Skip, you know I blocked for TD Terrell Davis, and we could run the football. But this right here, I mean, the dude is going untouched. The first touchdown, no one touched him. There was a couple of touchdowns, someone touched him on his arm. This is unbelievable. The 49ers and the Tennessee Titans, both of them want to run the football. One of them running the football, Derrick Henry lines up in the I formation, Skip. They hand it to him or they toss it to him.
Yep.
Kyle Shanahan is going to give you 18 different looks. And all of them's going to end up with somebody having to run. It might be Deebo Samuels running the ball. It might be Mostert. It might be Breda. It might be Emmanuel Sanders.
Yep.
But somebody's going to get the ball. And it's so much misdirection. They tell you the fullback will take you where the ball is, where they put you check in short motion. And the next thing you know, Skip, he motions to the right. He's coming back left and they're pulling a tackle. So they already overloaded that side because they anticipate the ball coming that way. Now they're coming back with a sweep with Deebo. Now they're coming back with Mostert. I told ED was sitting on here. I said, now one of these two teams, Eric Dixon.
Yeah.
I said, one of these two teams, either Tennessee or 49ers, going to get 40-plus carries. Where they had 39 with 3 kneel downs. So they got to 42.
They did.
Skip, this is unbelievable. Skip, look, having played 14 years, and you'd rather have a guy throw for 600 yards and have what happened to them yesterday.
I agree.
Because when you run the football, they said Troy said he's taking the manhood. You're moving a man against his will.
You are.
Huh.
It ain't no trickery. It ain't no trickeration. We running the football.
Play after play after play.
They like.
So it's worse.
They beg it. They like, Jimmy, please throw the ball. They put 9 guys. We dare you to throw it, Jimmy. Nope, I ain't throwing it. Because you know why I'm not going to throw it? Because you can't stop us running it. I'm looking at one time, dude is averaging 11 yards a clip in the NFL. That's college stuff. That's college when a top-flight team playing an FCS team, Skip. Yeah. That's not supposed to happen in the NFL with these are pros.
Not.
176. And you was talking about last year with the Rams. I don't know if the Rams made it look like this. What the 49ers did to the Packers yesterday, Skip.
This was worse.
Yeah.
I agree. And I thought that was bad, what the Rams did to the Cowboys.
Yes, this was unbelievable. And 285 yards on 7 yards a carry. And the Packers were really never in this ball game. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers a little later, Skip. But those are empty calories. Those numbers, because you look at his numbers, you go like, man, he was 30, 31 or 39 for yada, yada, yada. No, but it didn't mean nothing because he never got within 2 scores. And for the most part, he was fighting an uphill battle. But the 49ers, and it's like, it's hard. It's really hard to beat a team twice. That's a lie. When you're the superior team, it's very easy. Skip, Green Bay can play the 49ers 10 more times over the next 3 months, and they might win a game. But I would say it's going to probably be 10 for 10.
I would agree.
The 49ers are just a better team, period. And what we thought, oh, Green Bay's defense, they're so much better. That was pathetic. Skip, that was awful. You can't put that on tape. In the biggest game, you're 1 step away from getting to the Super Bowl, and you let a team run for almost 300 on you?
Yep.
And the quarterback threw. We were talking about Tannehill. Tannehill had 14 attempts. Garoppolo had 8 attempts.
8.
This ain't 1950 before they really instituted the forward pass game.
That's how it felt.
This is the 21st century. We 2020. And in a championship game.
Think about this. Emmanuel Sanders got 1 target and no catches. Think about this. You love Kittle. You're a Hall of Fame tight end. He got 1 target and caught 1 ball.
That's it. Because the other team couldn't stop the run.
Yep.
And the 49ers, Skip, like I said, Kyle Shanahan is the best diagrammer. is the best play caller going right now in the NFL. There are a lot of guys that might, Sean Payton has won a Super Bowl and all these Josh McDaniels, but Kyle is where it's at right now, Skip. This was an unbelievable performance. I thought it would be very similar because the Packers is going to be different this time. What? Did the Packers get new players from the last time they played? Did the 49ers get worse players? Because if that didn't transpire, the exact same outcome was going to happen, and that's what you got, the exact same outcome. But it was, Skip, it was worse this time around. You said the last time Aaron Rodgers, he was worse. It was worse. The beatdown, it was 23-0 the first time. It was 27-0, and it was over from that point.
It really was.
He had a slightly better QBR this time.
He got 16.
Did he?
He had a 22, right? 22 overall.
It was 22. I thought it was like 16.
Okay, I think it was 22, but the first time it was 9.
Yeah.
But to your point, whole lot of empty calories in the second half. And he did make a couple of good throws in the second half, but it was way too little, way too late.
Yeah.
So all season long, I sat over here saying, how's Green Bay doing this? I don't get it. I kept telling you, Green Bay is the flip side of my Cowboys because my Cowboys somehow, you say, how did they lose that game? And with Green Bay, I kept saying, how did they win that game?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they won that game. And it came all the way around to yesterday, and they got exposed for the frauds they were all year. They were frauds, and they were actually 14-3 frauds coming into this game. 14-3 is pretty great. I don't know if you can fraud your way to 14-3, but they did. And Aaron Rodgers said after the game yesterday that he felt like he couldn't explain how they'd gotten that far. So he started feeling like the last few days, it's just meant to be. We're going to go win this game because we can't explain how we got here.
Right.
It's going to continue.
So you won't be able to explain how we got to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Well, it didn't work that way.
Right.
Because I think deep down in their heart of hearts and in the backs of their minds, that 37-8 just destroyed their psyches. And we went back and forth last week, you and I, about, remember, Kyle Shannon said, you have to forget. It's irrelevant what happened in the 37-8 destruction game.
Right.
And I said, well, it's not irrelevant in the Green Bay psyche because they know they got destroyed.
Yeah.
And yesterday they came out like, we can't do this. And I was texting back and forth with our friend Lil Wayne this morning because he's just devastated. Sorry about that, Wayne.
Well, how's he doing?
But the point was he agreed with me. In the end, the 49ers were just better than the Packers. But to Wayne's point, they weren't that much better because the defense just didn't want to tackle anybody for at least a half. They did a little better in the second half.
Skip, I can see if it's Henry, though. Skip, I can see you don't want to tackle a 6'4", 260-pound man. But these guys are built for speed. If you look at the way they built Coleman, I went out with the shoulder injury.
He did right away.
But Skip, they might not have a back that's maybe Coleman is 200 pounds. But these guys are built for speed. But guess what? You ever know anything? Did anybody know who TD was? Anybody know who Mike Anderson or Reuben Drones? These no-name guys that come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're like, he did. Why did nobody want him?
The stories, it's impressive. Yeah.
So what a story is Raheem Mostert because he's 5'11", 180 pounds. Think about 180.
Yeah. That's thin.
5'11".
And at Purdue, he didn't even play running back till he was a junior because he's a gadget guy. He's a return specialist because he is a track man.
You could tell the way he runs.
He won some Big Ten hurdles and sprint championships. So he can fly.
Right.
And yet this is his 7th NFL team. So 6 teams said no to him.
Right.
And he said he keeps a list of all of his cut dates. Before every game, he looks at all of his cut dates. Philly said that he wasn't drafted, but they had him and said no. Miami said no. Baltimore said no. Cleveland said no. The Jets said no. And Chicago said no to Raheem Mostert, who finally fell into Kyle Shanahan heaven.
Yep.
Because he was made for this. It's that outside zone. You know, let him get outside where you're just zone blocking.
Right.
And you're blowing people off the football.
You get one cut. Bobby Turner, who's the running back coach, was there with Mike Shanahan. He came with Mike in '95. And everywhere Kyle has been, Bobby has gone with him. He's the best running back coach in football. Skip, when you got that kind of speed, you say, son, look, put your right foot in the dirt and put your left foot in your dirt and come downhill. Skip, you see him going through the line? He doesn't even accelerate. He's like, I'm gone. He's running so it doesn't look like he's running. They said he had 9 runs. I'm looking at it like 9 runs of 15+ miles an hour. Do you know as a running back, to generate that kind of speed that quickly, So he hits a crease, it's over.
Right, and he doesn't look that pretty of a runner. It doesn't look like he's flying.
But he's like
flying.
he could glide.
He was. No, I agree. In the first half, he gets 160 on 14 carries. That's outrageous. That's the most yards in a playoff game. I saw this morning. You have to go back to the 1963 AFL championship game.
Right.
And it was Keith Lincoln. This is way before your time, but I do remember him for the Chargers. That's correct.
Yeah.
And that's the last time anybody got 160 or more in the first half. What? Well, you're blown out, man. It's 27-0.
You're demoralized, Skip, because they're like running the ball. At least give you like, okay, we were in position. We just should have got to knock that play down. How do you not be, if a team's running the ball like this, how do you say we got to get in better position? They're just lining up. And the thing is, Skip, the Deebo Samuels, I mean, because you're going one way, you're like, okay, yeah, here they come this way. And the next thing you know, he popped the ball up to Deebo, and Deebo's going the other way. And Deebo, he gets the ball, he's a running back. He ain't looking to juke you. He's running people over. So now they might pull Deebo Samuels and Juszczyk and Mostert, and you got two guys out there. He hits a crease. It's a touchdown. Skip, the way Kyle is calling this, well, if you're not going to make... Sure, Kyle learned his lesson from that Super Bowl, Skip. You're never going to have to say Kyle Shanahan should run the football more.
That's true.
You will never,
That's
ever...
a good point.
You will never,
He showed you in the second half yesterday, I'm just not going to throw it.
I'm not going to throw it.
Well, like what Terry asked him post-game, he's like, you ran all over them. Well, it was working. Like, why stop? Why would you stop? What's working so well?
Exactly.
Good point. Tevin Coleman could be a big loss because it looked like he really hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like he
did. Say last
Right.
night. But again, this kid is running so hot right now, and Breida is still there. And like you say, you can get other people involved in the run game. I just think Kansas